Problem. Here you go. I'm going to get it straight here. Don't worry, Jan. We'll get on the radio. I told you. I was doing it 5 minutes early. I'm not responsible.
Now the radio's back.
Why is the radio on? The radio is supposed to be off. Execute. Now it's off, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
The radio is off. All right. Well, let's see if we can keep the radio. If we can keep the radio off, we are going to play an excellent interview. This just creates a little comedy here this afternoon, knowing that I can't still, after all this time, can make mistakes. But anyways, we are going to play, I hope, an interview that you are really going to like this afternoon. You will get to hear from one of the Rocksteady boxers and how his life has been impacted by this program. So without further ado, I'm going to pull up Jim Kinney and we are going to play that for you. Doing today?
Doing good. A little tired from just finishing up a Rocksteady boxing class.
What made you get involved in Rocksteady boxing other than the fact that you do have Parkinson's?
Well, a friend of mine gave me an article that said this man, this therapist, had developed a program to help people with Parkinson's, and looked into it and read about it. It started out in Indiana, and he's a physical therapist. And his friend had Parkinson's, and he just watched him sit at home and do nothing, and he went downhill so fast. So he got him, you're going to do something because I'm going to make you do it. He said, so he take him to the gym, and they did this Rocksteady boxing program. He found out that all of the attributes of boxing flow over to how to help people with Parkinson's. And it sounds funny, but we don't ever hit anybody.
But you sure have a good time, don't you?
Good time hitting the bag.
Yeah. I bet you get out a lot of frustrations too, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Have you ever imagined that so-and-so's head there?
No, not yet.
Not yet?
We may get to that, but I haven't gotten there yet.
Haven't gotten there yet. Well, now, when I think you told me that you were diagnosed with Parkinson's, what year?
2017.
2017. And when did you join the Rocksteady boxing program here at the Y?
Well, let's take you to the beginning of it. We had a bunch of information that said anybody that had interest in starting a program for their people that are in their town that had Parkinson's, here's who to call and here's who to get in touch with. And so we brought it to the Y, my wife and I, and they said, oh, that's right up Jan's alley. We'll give this to Jan Rushton.
So you're the one that actually got the program to be started here at the Y?
Yes.
Well, this is terrific.
My wife and I read a lot about it, and we kept feeding Jan the information, and we knew how any organization moves slow for something new.
Right.
They don't just get out and do it real quick. They analyze it and they look at it and everything and decide what needs to be done, what objects need to be purchased,
How to go about getting it all together.
Doing all that. Well, there was a place that helped Jan get all that done. And as a result of that, Jan has developed it. She and Sunni are certified trainers, which is a big deal. Certified Parkinson's trainers are not that many. You don't find that many of them because it takes a lot of time to become certified. So, but Jan and Sunni are certified trainers, and they get helpers to help them.
Volunteers, yeah.
Right here. And this is the best place to do it is right here at the Y.
You know, that was a big commitment by our Lakeland's YMCA to get involved in this program and to have their Jan and Sunny to get trained and everything, wasn't it?
Oh, yes. We knew it was going to be a big commitment, so we gave them some information about how to get funded and how to write. So you had to write for a grant.
Right.
And Jan said, "That's right up my alley. I can write for grants."
Well, now, what has the program meant to you, Jim?
Oh, it's everything, because every time I see my doctor, he's in Augusta, but every time I see my doctor, he goes, "You keep moving. You remember what I said in the beginning?" I said, "Yeah." You said, "Anybody that sits down and sits on the couch or in the big chair and doesn't get up and move, you're bound for one place, and that's death." He said, because Parkinson won't kill you, but it will speed up anything else that is bad for you. You get any other disease, any other pneumonia or anything like that.
Right.
You're really
takes over your system, whatever. You don't have the defenses, I guess, to fight off disease as easy.
The only way to get them is to keep going and keep moving, and that way your body builds up what it can.
So and I guess, I mean, I don't know this, but I guess that sense of camaraderie with other people in the program would be pretty significant too.
Oh, that is, when we say good morning, how you doing, we really mean it with each other. And we all know it, so we're honest with each other. That's a big thing.
Yeah, I can imagine. And I love the fact even you do all kinds of exercises in this program as well as doing the boxing. First you have to get ready to box, then you box, and then you sit down and you have some mental questions, right?
Yep, there's a whole bunch of aspects about Parkinson's that come into play. And Jan and Sunni have figured all that out. And everything that we do touches one of those aspects. And everything, you can sit back and look at it and go, wow, that's for balance. That's for talking. As you can tell, my voice is really shallow. That's because Parkinson's has taken a little bit of it, and I've got to learn how to yell.
Well, I think you're doing a good job. But yes, then those are things you can work on, right?
Yes.
That's true. That's true. Well, what would you say to somebody that's hearing this or seeing this on Facebook Live? What would you say to somebody that has Parkinson's disease?
Come on down to the Y and watch us. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 11 to 12.
It's there's no cost for coming down and seeing what's going on, and you just might find a group of people that you like to get to know better, right?
That's right.
Well, is there anything else you'd like to tell us here today, Jim?
Well, most of us, no, I take that back. All of us didn't want this. If we had a choice of you have this or something else, we probably would have picked something else. But because it's exercise-based, it's hard to say no to Jan and Sunni.
Well, I know Jan. She's pretty much of a taskmaster, isn't she?
She challenges us every time we have a class.
She does. She does. And she does a great job, and so does Sunni. Well, I appreciate you taking time to talk to us here today on WCRS Radio. I think it is terrific that you all have this program right here at the Lakelands YMCA.
We are too. We hope everybody that has it will come on down, watch us do it, and get involved.
Thank you so much, Jim Kenny. He participates every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at this program, the Rocksteady Boxing. Today, it is my very special honor to have Taskmaster herself, Jan Rushton.
Good afternoon, Greenwood.
And also Sunni Carwile. How are you doing this afternoon, Sunni?
I'm good, Ann. How are you?
I'm good. So now, we're on the radio. We have everybody on screen. We're good. Everything's good here now. We started a little rough here today, but everything is good. So what'd you think about what Jim had to say this afternoon?
Well, it's humbling. You know, he's been a very strong advocate for us in getting this program up off the ground. You know, and I'm very appreciative, you know, for the push. Although I always give it up to where it needs to go, you know, Jim put it in my lap and God said, this is what you need to do. Who argues with God?
But now, how long have you actually had the program at the Y?
Just shy of 5 years.
5 years. And I think, if I remember you telling me, when you started, you didn't have a lot to work with. It wasn't like, oh, here's the funding, write the check and go, right?
No, that is very true. You know, our CEO, you know, covered the cost of certifications, and he gave us seed money to get started. But I have to say, we are extremely grateful for the Greenwood Women's Care. We applied for a grant in 2022, and we were blessed to receive a $5,000 grant from the Greenwood Women's Care. Which really did buy the majority of the rest of our equipment. So that was definitely a thumbs up to them for that.
That's right. And you actually just went to another certification, was it?
It was like a refresh. You know, they did Rocksteady Boxing every year, chooses a different venue. This year just happened to be in Indianapolis, downtown Indy, and which is where the home office is for Rocksteady Boxing. So there was about 500 of us that were
across
present.
The country? Wow.
Yeah, across the country. And, you know, it's being able to connect, you know, with other coaches, get ideas, find out what maybe some of the newer drugs are for different situations pertaining to Parkinson's. So, I mean, it was a worthwhile trip. You know, it's always fun to just hear what other people have to say, talk with other neurologists to see what's on the forefront for the future.
And I'm sure get even some ideas on how to present your classes, I would think,
gosh.
too.
Yes. If we, you know, I think the biggest thing anyone with Parkinson's will say, it's a brain game and it's about memory, you know, and being able to be repetitive. And we give our group cheat notes. They didn't give us cheat notes, and none of us had Parkinson's. So I'm like, wow, you know, it made us have to step back and think just a wee bit.
Right. So this is what makes this program so exciting. Now, Sunni, you've been working with it all along, have you? Yes. And, you know, I would be curious. I'm sure you see people come into the program, and I'm sure it's very heartbreaking when you have somebody that leaves the program.
It can be, but we know that we're with them till the end. There's always hope, and that's what we fight for.
That's what you
every
fight.
step of the way.
Now, the premise behind Rocksteady Boxing is what, Jan?
It's I don't think how to answer this in simple terms. So the whole idea behind Rocksteady Boxing, it is a boxing base, non-contact. So you're not allowed to hit each other. But when you look at what a boxer has to learn in order to box, these are all the things that people with Parkinson's deal with. So
Right.
You're looking at balance, cognitive, eye-hand coordination. These are all things in life for them that is a struggle. Putting it simply, if I'm forcing you to work harder than you normally would, it makes the brain react to focus on these new skill sets. So the Parkinson's, it's not that we cure you, it's not that it just magically disappears, but it helps to slow the progression. And sometimes you see a regression, meaning you find that you're better, for a longer period of time. And the whole point to this program is to help you, the Parkinson's participate, have a better quality of life.
Absolutely. Now, what are the most common symptoms of Parkinson's? It's really one of those diseases that we don't really know a lot about. I mean, everyday people, you say, oh, someone has Parkinson's, but what does that exactly mean?
When you're looking at the symptoms, I would say the most not popular, that's the wrong choice, the most common, the most common trait to Parkinson's is tremors. So if you see somebody, with shaking hands or maybe head tics, that would be the number one red flag. But there's also this stiffness and slowness of movement. They call that bradykinesia. So their balance is poor. They have difficulties walking, slurred speech, and then we call it facial expressions. They call it a mask, and it's like their face is just kind of frozen, and you could be telling a joke, the whole room is laughing, and they're laughing, but there's no facial expression.
Can't tell.
So that's actually something that we work on, with them, teaching them that they can do it, but they have to be very conscious and say, like, if I'm going to smile, I have to smile, whereas we just automatically do it. We don't think about it.
Yeah. Sunni, I always like the end of the day when you're sitting down and they're all sitting in a circle there and you have a little conversation after the boxing and the workout and everything. And you ask them, what was last week when I was there, it was, oh, I know, if you could go back in time, if you were a time traveler and go to any concert that you could see. That was a good one. Everybody seemed to enjoy that. But what's the purpose of that?
So we call it a getting to know you. They're all coming from different parts of life. They have this common diagnosis, but just giving them a chance to have that camaraderie, get to know each other, just something fun to talk about at the end, to have a bright spot in their day.
Yeah. I mean, I just wondered if it also had anything to do with having to react does it have anything to do with that, Jen?
When we're looking at cognitive, sometimes memory is not always quick to come. And so allowing them to have to think back, I mean, we've all been to concerts in our youth at some point in time, but do you actually recall that moment? Can you really kind of go back? And so sometimes they have to, ponder that question for a few minutes. They'll say pass, go to somebody else,
right,
while they kind of search their memory bank to come up with an answer. So it really does border on the line of cognitive.
Right, exactly. And I guess probably one of the biggest problems that can come with Parkinson's is falling. That can be very bad, correct?
It's a huge issue. In the beginning, not so much. But as the disease progresses, you're going to see fall risks. And so at this juncture, we actually have quite a few participants that are in a high fall risk category.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's and you worry about that because if you get them in a bed and they don't get out, then they may not get out, correct?
Exactly. Every day that, any patient is, speaking of seniors in general, every day that you're in a bed in a hospital, that's 1 week to recover. So if you're in the hospital for 7 days, that's 7 weeks of your life that you've got to try and work to get back to square one all over again. And those are the things that we don't want to see happen. So we want them up and moving as much as possible.
Absolutely. Now, if you're listening here today or watching us on Facebook, you can, if you've got a question, maybe you'd like some more information, maybe we can answer it while we're live here on the air. We've got our new text and call-in line. It's a call-in line that converts it to a text, so I get to see it while we're live here on the air. 864-332-9355. That's 864-332-9355. Love to hear from you if you have a question. Now, I understand that you're actually expanding the program.
We are. We've had a bit of an influx, which is what we've been wanting. I always tell people, be careful what you wish for.
Right, yes.
When things are small and very controlled, that's one thing, but you want to grow the program. So we're going to split it into two 2 different programs. One is from 11 to about 12:15, and then the second one will bump up right behind, starting at 12:30 to 1:30. The later group will be newbies, what we classify as newbies. So for them, we can spend a little more time one-on-one with them, and there's a lot less chaos, and distractions going around them. So I think it'll be a better fit.
Well, one of the things that I thought that was most interesting is you made me actually try to do the hanging bag there, and it's a spin bag. Now that takes a lot of coordination. It does. And you put me in my place right away.
So imagine you don't have Parkinson's.
Right.
Thank goodness.
Right.
But, learning a technique like speed bag is extremely challenging. It took me quite a while to master it and then to be able to teach it, because I do not come from a boxing background, nor Sunni either. So teaching someone, 1, the technique, 2, the cognitive focus to be able to execute this can be challenging for them, very challenging. And everyone that's ever started always comes back and says, I don't think I can do this. Like, I can't do this. Give them a couple weeks, they find their rhythm, and they just sail on.
Okay. All right. Well, we just had a text from, hey, Sunny, hey, Jan. Let's see, what did they say? Remember me? I'm your long-lost buddy from wellness work named Chris. What's up?
I knew he was going to find a way. Hi, Chris.
Hello, Chris.
Yeah. There you go. So, anyways, that's the beauty of this. So this is fun, though, to be able to get interaction from people while you're on the radio.
So just to give you some feedback about this gentleman, he is a volunteer in our program. He volunteers every Friday to help us with this program, and he has been very instrumental. He's a dynamic guy, and we're very grateful and blessed to have him on board.
Absolutely. Which, let's go ahead and just talk about volunteers. I've got a little clip I'm going to show here of the boxing, and I think it'd probably be a good time to show one of those. But tell us what you need in volunteers and how important the volunteers in this program are.
Volunteers are extremely important. Sunny and I can't do this all on our own, nor can we afford to pay for X amount of volunteers to run this program. So, volunteers may help fill in the gaps for us. With that being said, you play a crucial role. 1, you become a motivator for this demographic, and they need motivation, and they need to know that they're loved and that we're here to support them. But greater than that, having eyes and hands on all these different variations, because everybody's different.
And everybody's at a different level quite often.
And
yes.
So it makes a difference, that there's somebody with this person from the time we start the program till the end, to make sure there are no slip, trips, or falls. Or if they're struggling to understand written directions, somebody's there to explain exactly how these directions need to be executed. So volunteers are very important to us, and we can always use volunteers. We're always looking for people who are retired, wanting something to do and make a difference in somebody's life. Come down and we will help you get situated to help us volunteer. But you won't be sad. You will be making a huge impression on these people's lives.
Well, I think I would like to show the video of Georgette, where she was punching the bag, and I think it was you, Jan, that was telling her the numbers to punch. And explain the difficulty of this before we watch. The video's not that long, but explain the difficulty for this.
So this one particular move, there are numbers all over this heavy bag, and so we'll write out, Sunny did this particular program, that they have to be able to punch and hit. And in doing so, they have to be able to think what punch goes with that particular number. All right, so it could be a jab, a hook, an uppercut. But they also have to memorize that number sequence. So while they're actually hitting those numbers, they've got to think, what punch am I throwing out there, and then call out the number that they're actually hitting. So there's a lot of cognitive going on in that moment that's going to make their brains work harder.
Absolutely. Well, this is Georgette, and let's see if I can get this up here on the screen. We're going to go to the top monitor, and y'all should see this now. So let's take the. Now this is noisy because this is actually at the gym while at the YMCA while this is going on. And in this clip, you're seeing a lot of different people working on bags, all doing different things. And then Jan comes over here and joins Georgette, and she's like, taskmaster, here she is.
6, 7, 2, 13. Reset. Ready? 11, 4, 12, 6, 7, 2, 13. Reset. 11, 4, 12, 6, 7, 2, 13. Reset. I'm going to mix them up now. 13, 12, 6, 4, 11, 7, 2, 4, 12, 6, 7, 13, 2, all right, 6, 12, 4, 2, 7, 13, 11.
So this was, as you saw, they were doing all kinds of boxing there, and there were different people doing the boxing, which is pretty interesting. And Sunni, what do you get? When you walk in that room and you see all these people doing this type of activity? What does it mean to you? I mean, what do you get out of seeing them other than saying, "Okay, switch now"?
So it's a lot of joy. There's a lot of shenanigans that they bring to the table. A lot of them bring their jokes, but it's just a lot of joy every day.
Every day. And I think that you just see that everybody is most intense is what I wanted people to get out of this. People are not just lallygagging around. Mm-hmm. They are serious about what they're doing, aren't they? Mm-hmm. And so, Jan, have you seen people actually get better?
Absolutely. It's always, I think it's the charm, it's the magic. We just, when you see people come back to you and say, haven't fallen in a month. I went for a walk and no slip, trips, or falls on the pavement. When they tell you that their quality of life has gotten better, that's a win for us. But Sunni nailed it. We're with you from the beginning to the end. And, that's a tough pill to swallow sometimes, because we know you might be with us 4 years, 6 years, 7 years, but we know what the end result is. And I say this a million times, that I will pull my little black dress out more times than I care to. So, but we don't abandon you just because you're not able to even be in the program anymore. You still get cards, you get phone calls, we come, we visit, so it's not just, yeah, that's great, you can do the program now, you can't. We're going to walk with you that whole way. And that's tough. That takes a lot on us mentally to be able to walk in and do that. So basically, we've lost 5 people in the last year and a half.
In the last year and a half?
Yes. Am I right?
Maybe 2 years.
All right, 2.
2.
2
All right,
years,
2.
but still.
But still,
That's-
So,
that's-
but there's my point. We don't abandon you. We're there to the end.
To the
And
end.
that's the beauty of the program.
And so if somebody has Parkinson's disease, maybe they've just been diagnosed or something, they really shouldn't wait, should they?
No. The sooner you can come to us, the better off you'll be. We have several that have just been newly diagnosed, and the point to this is the quicker you get to us, the longer you have better quality of life. In the beginning, you might think, I don't need this, but you do. You're going to bank off of the other people who are there, meaning they can help you understand what's going to happen, how does this look, and help guide you. A lot of times when people are diagnosed, it's like a sucker punch. So if you're new, we have a, what I call it, like a gift, when I give all the books and literature. A wellness packet, that is full of all this information about Parkinson's, from you're just newly diagnosed. If you go into the hospital, these are the things that you need to say and let doctors know within a hospital system, how to treat you differently than just the average patient. So we want to educate,
Sure.
and help them, be able to navigate, because a lot of times docs will say, well, this is what I want you to do, but they forget the element that they have Parkinson's. So if you ask them to stop working out, for instance, say for whatever issue, and you're out for the next 6 weeks. 6 weeks of downtime for someone with Parkinson is not good. So, we want to work in conjunction with docs, but, we want to try and keep our people up and moving.
Sure. Now, how do they diagnose people with Parkinson's?
That is just, it's that moment. It's a physical exam, medical history. They look at some of your symptoms. So, they're going to, if you're with a neurologist who is a movement specialist, they're going to look at how you walk. Do you have tremors? And then there is no magic diagnosis. Like, they'll go through all these basic things that I just kind of covered, and then they'll put you on Parkinson's meds. But there's no one cocktail that works the same. So it's kind of a guessing game to say, I'm gonna prescribe this. Let's see how it works for, could be a couple months, come back. Oh, it's not quite what we wanted, so they adjust. And so it's a tough way to, I call it dialing them in.
Right.
When you dial them in and you get those meds just perfect, it's great. But trying to get to that point sometimes can be a little rocky.
And I'm sure over time the meds need to change. And
Absolutely.
I think that's probably...
So you're always having to adjust, those meds in order to try and keep, their dopamine levels level.
Right. And I'm sure that the meds have side effects too.
Everything does.
And, you don't want to take any medication because they have side effects. But if you don't, it's putting you in worse situations.
The other side of the coin is, not a really great quality at that point of your life, trying to navigate that without your meds.
So, Sunny, what are the steps to joining Rocksteady Boxing? What do you have to do?
So we want you to come see the program, see what we're all about, see what you're kind of getting yourself into. Then we schedule you for an assessment. We go through some of the initial paperwork. We see how far you are as far as a fall risk, whether you're a high fall risk, low fall risk. And then we send off a clearance form to your neurologist for them to say that you're good to start the program. And then you get to come and join and have some fun.
Okay. And so, and this is 3 days a week. Now, what if somebody can only do it 2 days a week? I suppose there are people that have, and I know that I've been there when some people were going on trips and this type of thing.
3 days a week is the perfect.
Is optimum.
But not everybody can. So we have one participant he still works a full-time job, so he can only come once a week. Now he'll do stuff at home
Right.
that mimics, like he went out and bought a speed bag platform, and he does a lot of stuff from his home. We have others 2 days a week. I mean, optimum is 3, but we'll take what we can get.
Sure. The hardest thing I would think, and I mean, I don't have Parkinson's, but would be understanding what the future holds, and to be able to keep yourself in a mental state to keep moving forward and to have that desire to keep going. I would think sometimes you just say, oh, why bother?
That'd be a better question for them to answer than me. But, after, watching this for almost 5 years, I have to step back and say that, they're literally fighting for their lives. Mm-hmm. It's the only way I can put it. They understand once they get into the program and see the benefit that the more they put into it, the more they're going to get out of it. Quality of life matters.
Exactly.
And, even if I give you quality of life for 5 years, that's 5 years of good times, as opposed to 5 years of mediocre.
And going downhill.
Yeah.
And
you will go downhill quickly. I mean, if you just, sit at home and really don't do a whole lot, it's gonna change the way your life ends, and I'd rather, teach my fighters to fight.
Right.
And fight for every inch of it. We try and stay up to date on all modern technology that's out there. So I'm always reading, pretty dull and boring on, if you think about it. But, things that neurologists are saying, what does this do? What does that do? Is this cutting edge? And sharing this information with our people. And then, they can make an informed decision and go back and talk with their neurologists about what I'm sharing with them.
Sure. Now, how did Rocksteady Boxing, how did they discover that this was a good thing?
It started with a gentleman called Scott Newman. He was the assistant district attorney.
District attorney?
Yeah, I know,
okay.
That's a tongue twister. Assistant district attorney. Woo. In downtown Indianapolis.
Okay.
He was diagnosed, he had early onset Parkinson's, so he was diagnosed at 40 years of age, that's kind of like a Michael J. Fox scenario. It was pretty devastating. He was not in a great place at all with his diagnosis. The disease was really, debilitating for him. So he had to retire. He had a friend who was a retired Golden Glove boxer. And I guess he pretty much told him that, I'm going to teach you how to box, which Scott thought was pretty hilarious, And he said,
because he had Parkinson's,
right.
And he wouldn't think he could do it, I'm sure, right?
And his friend said, well, what have you got to lose?
Right.
You can't just sit and feel sorry for yourself. So he was like, okay. So the two went to the gym. And this boxer started literally teaching him how to box. The more he boxed, the better he got. And they kind of looked at each other like I'm looking at you. And it was like, we might be onto something. So they opened up a very small gym, and it was specifically for people with early onset Parkinson's. But as word spread, it didn't matter whether you got Parkinson's at 40 or 70.
Right.
People started coming and saying, well, we want to be part of this.
Right.
Hence, Rocksteady Boxing was formed in 2006.
Oh.
So, it's been out there for 19 years. We have over 800 affiliates worldwide.
Wow, that is terrific. Now, does this program work for any other disease, or is it just specific to Parkinson's?
Just specific to Parkinson's. No other disease. This wouldn't help. Like if you had MS, fibromyalgia, anything else, it's not going to help you.
No.
Okay, it's just. But we have found through research, and it's out there, that the harder we push you, the better you are.
Oh, so that's why you have to be the taskmaster.
Yes.
Exactly.
So, sometimes they don't want to be pushed, and it's like, I'm sorry, you're having a bad day, I get it, but get back, hit the bag, let's go.
Hit the bag.
You know.
One of the things I noticed, though, is they hit the bags most of the people that I saw, not everybody, but most of them are hitting it very softly. They're hitting the number that they're supposed to get to, but they're not punching through to it. Is that?
So a lot depends on, the level that you're working with. So our level basically are what we classify 3s and 4s.
Okay.
So 3s and 4s are in a high fall risk category. So they're not going to punch as hard or as quick.
Right.
If I had levels 1s and 2s, they're put in a category of a high functioning Parkinson's group. And that means basically they could probably take a regular mainstream class and be fine. So you would see a difference in how hard that group punched as opposed to our group.
Well, I think this is, to me, it's been fascinating to be able to come to the class and take some of these videos. I've got another video here of one of your coaches there working with Bob Thomas on the box. And I think if you watch this video, you see the coach giving it, he looks like he is a boxer. He does, the way bam, 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 and then he goes, okay, Bob, and Bob looks at him and goes, okay. You see a lot of that, though, don't you? You do. So we're going to play this one, and then I think I'd like to close out with Barbara Schuster, her little interview, because she didn't know, she decided to sign up to be a volunteer, according to her story, and then found out that she had Parkinson's. Yeah, so, just an interesting story, I thought. So we are going to, let's see if I can get this to the top monitor and review. Okay, here we go. Oh no, I did the wrong one. Hold on, let me get the right one here. We'll go, what do we need to do here? And, I know. Escape. Yes, there we go. And we can go back. There we go. Take it away.
Let's do your left arm and right. Right. Got it. Pause. Down. Lead. Reset. Got it. 1. 8. 8. Got it. Okay. Jump across. All right. Go ahead. Reset. 3, 2, 1, go.
And that is why I say that Sunny is a taskmaster. Yes, there you go.
Cross. Yeah. Lead. Reset.
Everybody here has Parkinson's. Everybody is working at different levels to try to keep their muscles and their mind engaged with what they are doing. This is a terrific program showing people that you can overcome and slow down the effects of Parkinson's. You'll see some videos here today on the show that will show us what those that wanted to be interviewed for this program did. So, pretty cool stuff right here at your local Greenwood YMCA. So there you go on that. That is another, let me get back here. Where am I? So that takes us back to what we've been talking about today has been Parkinson's and what a great program they have at your local YMCA. I think that a lot of times it's people need to know about these programs. No matter how much you talk about it or how much you try to educate providers, they don't realize the good things that are happening right there at our YMCA.
That is true. We have, we're no longer just your normal swimming gym. We are
Swimming gym.
Okay. You went in, you dropped your kids off, they swam, you went and lifted weights, and then everybody went home. Now we're really a wellness facility. we not only have a Parkinson's program, we have a pre-diabetic program, we have a self-monitoring blood pressure program. We are working with the bariatric doctor here in town.
Dr. Santos.
Dr.
Yes.
Santosh. We made a program for him, and we're also creating and just got the licensing and the grant money for Healthy Weight in Your Child. So, we're all about working with South Regional, because they're partnered up with us, to get these and keep these medical programs going for the community.
Well, I think that brings us to another point here, is the fact that you do partner with Self really elevates what you're doing. You're right. You're not just come in and work out on a few machines, and you have so many classes there. That is the other thing. I mean, whether it's spin classes, yoga classes, I don't know what classes you got going on right now. Sunny, you got a list of them?
We have Zumba, line dancing, Pilates reformer, water aerobics, strength training, TRX, spin classes.
Right.
So many of them.
Right. So if you have been thinking, I need to do something, what should they do? What should they do, Sunny?
Come down to the Y, ask for a tour, come see what we offer.
Absolutely. Now, I think one of the big advantages for someone that has small children is that there's this child care option while you work out, isn't there?
Yes.
And tell us about that one.
So our Child Watch, we have staff in there. We take kids ages 6 weeks to 10 years old. You can drop your kids off for up to 2 hours, go work out. They'll play games, they'll play outside, have coloring sheets, all sorts of fun stuff.
That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool, and that allows you to have some peace and quiet while you're doing that. Now, you also are looking for help over there, right? You need warriors to help clean equipment and keep things going, yes?
Yes, we can always use more floor staff, meaning fitness attendants and fitness coaches. We're definitely looking for fitness instructors. So if you're a yoga instructor, Pilates mat, just general interval, type workouts, please come down, put an application in. You need to be on our payroll.
You need to be helping out down there.
I know it.
There is so much going on at the Y, and then of course you have swim classes too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
so that would be Allison Monday. She is our aquatics director. Allison has been doing this for years. So if you want to teach your children how to swim, or if you need to know how to swim, come down, get with Allison Monday, and she can make that happen.
And then you also have all these outside activities, from the soccer. I don't know which one's going on right now, but soccer, football. I mean, don't you have all these things going on, Sunny?
Yes, soccer just ended. They're getting ready to start flag football in a couple weeks.
So now, and then if you join, since this is October, you have a special going on for October, right?
We do. If you come and join as a new member, you get to pick a pumpkin.
Pick a pumpkin.
Pick a pumpkin. So depending on the pumpkin you choose, you will get your joiner's fee waived, or you will actually get your first month of membership free.
Wow. So that's a pretty good. But I mean, when you look at all the advantages, all the things, and you join, you get all of these abilities too. Now, there are some classes, I think, that are extra, like the Pilates reformer or something.
No, that's included. Now, personal training is extra.
Personal training. Okay. So that makes a difference. But you get to use all these machines, and I tell you, the other thing I like about the Y is you'll show them how to use them properly.
Yes.
Because a lot of places, they just go, yep, there's the machine, right? Figure it out.
Yeah, that is true. No, we do orientations. All members are entitled to 3 1-hour orientations, and we will teach you how to use our equipment, our cardio equipment, and make sure that you're comfortable and understand how to use it.
So these are important factors when you're looking at a fitness organization. Plus, you have great value for family members, a family membership, this type of thing. So, Sunny, this question isn't on my cheat sheet here, so be prepared. What has working with this program meant to you, just personally, as you've seen people get more steady, be able to be better, to have the anxiety of seeing somebody that is? And what does this program mean for you?
It's just meant a lot of happiness. This wasn't my plan when I left college. I was planning to go to physical therapy school, but got a job. Thank you, Brian, to be here at the Y, and I just fell in love with it. So every aspect of it.
Every aspect of it. So I do think that one of the things that is so important about the Y is they have quality, caring people that want to see you succeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well said.
Yes.
Bravo.
Oh, well, I've been doing this for a while, and I do though, but I see it, and I see people succeeding and working, and then you even have the Silver Sneakers program for seniors. So there is something for everyone. That's what I would have to say,
Yes.
right? So you need to get involved in the Y. Now, I would like to play this interview with Barbara Schuster, and she's in a chair here. She had fallen when we did this, and she was recovering, and I know she's having some issues now, but I just thought it was so interesting because she told me she was always, well, why do I have to say it? I'll just let her say it. Let's take it away. This is Barbara Schuster right here on WCRS with an interview from the Y. Let's take it away. Where's the top monitor? And let's start it. With Barbara Schuster. She is a member of Rock Steady Boxing. How you doing today, Barbara?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. And, why did you get involved in Rock Steady Boxing?
I've always been very active. Parkinson's disease is not in my wheelhouse at all. However, this program has us moving around, doing all sorts of different things, boxing, the calisthenics, stretching, You have to keep moving.
Now, how did you find out about the program?
I've been a member of the Y for a long time, and there was a sign up looking for volunteers, so I can do that. And all of a sudden I realized that I did have Parkinson's disease. And you have to keep moving. That's all I can say.
I would think that, now why boxing though?
Actually, I'm not sure about that. Although as a young kid, my brother had boxing gloves and we always beat up on each other. So it's just a normal thing for me to do.
But do you think that eye-hand coordination? I know Jan one day had me doing the fast bag or something, and that's difficult.
Obviously, hand-eye coordination is good for all sorts of things.
Is it fun?
It's a good way to let out frustrations beating on that bag.
Well, I think there's a lot of research that shows the program is really good. And what we at WCRS wanted to talk to some of the people in the program was to find out what the effect. Now, how do you think it has helped you?
It's kept me moving. I had a hip replacement done recently. I dislocated my hip, which is why I'm in the wheelchair and ready to get out of the wheelchair. Keeping moving is the most important thing you can do. And I figure I will get out of the wheelchair because I do keep moving.
So, Parkinson's is just a devastating disease, isn't it?
Nobody really knows what all it involves. And it wasn't my first choice, however, you don't have choices in life. You gotta keep moving.
Got to keep moving, and that's what Rock Steady Boxing does for you. Now, do you come 3 days a week or 2, or what's your schedule?
I try to come 3 days. Right now I'm not driving, which is very inconvenient. Once I get driving again, I will be back 3 days a week.
And isn't it great that the YMCA here in Greenwood has a program like this?
Yes, it is. I'm not sure where any of us would be without it.
Thank you very much, Barbara Schuster. I hope you have a great day, and get out of that wheelchair, girl.
Good.
Right. Well, we are right back here. That was Barbara Schuster. I did think that that was a great interview about keeping moving. If there's one thing you should learn about this is to keep moving. And as we close this out, Penny, what is your deal today? Penny is here with us. She's ready to get in her chair. That's her chair there, and she's going to have the Penny Cam on the morning show. We're not going to have it on the afternoon show, but we are going to have it on the morning show, and she's getting very excited about it. She's decided she has a lot to say. Okay. Anyways, Jan, what would you like people to know as we get ready to close this out?
Just that, I find that Parkinson's is a disease that it's not like breast cancer. Everybody knows about breast cancer or, some of the other diseases. But I want to bring light on the Parkinson's community because they need our help. They need your help. So if you happen to know somebody who has Parkinson's, please share this message with them. But we're here to help them from beginning to end. But we want to fill our gymnasium with nothing but Parkinson's people. And like I keep telling Brian, I want to have so many people in this program, he has to buy me a new building.
And he probably looks at you and says, really, Jana? With all the other things that are going on. Well, Sunni, what would you like people to know as we close out here today?
I just want everybody to know that the Y is here no matter what you're looking for, whether it's for your kids, if you're a senior, your parents. We're here for you, and we're all about self-care being the new healthcare.
That's right. Self-care is the new healthcare, and if you're not taking care of yourself, who is going to do it, right?
Exactly.
So whatever ails you, check with the YMCA. There's probably a program for that, right? There you go. And they do have a special going on for October here. Sunni, tell us one more time what that special is.
So the special is pick your pumpkin. So all new members, you pick your pumpkin. You'll either get your joiner's fee waived or you'll get your first month of membership free.
So check that out. Pick a pack of, there was a phrase, pick a pack of
pickled peppers.
There you go. Right. Well, it's
Peter
not
Piper.
pepper.
Noted.
Okay, I can see what's going to be happening at Rocksteady Boxing. Who can remember what that goes with, right? Yes. Yeah, there you go. All right. Well, we are going to have to say adieu. This has been a really, really fun show here today. I hope you've learned some about Parkinson's. I hope you will check it out. And I hope if you know somebody that you'll make sure that they have the opportunity to know about this program. Contrary to popular belief, I'm not really sure what Penny's issue is, but we're getting through it today. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. Thanks so much for coming out today, guys.
Thanks for having us, Ian. We love you.
All right, we love you too. And get out there and do some boxing, do some good stuff for yourself, right? Okay, that's right, Penny. You want me to do for you. I got it. Take it away, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Cue the end of the show, and we are out of here, right here on WCRS Radio. Where are we at? We're at 6 o'clock, and yes, take it away. Start.